So, welcome everybody to the Feng Shui Society. Today is a Sunday, the 10th of September, and we have a very special guest for us tonight, Mr. I
Hi,
dare say,
everyone.
yes, absolutely, Laurent Langlais, absolutely. Thank you very much. We are very lucky to have him here. It's very difficult to secure him and grab hold of him. It's taken 4 months to kind of secure him. So we're glad he's here this evening. Oh, okay. And so he is going to obviously give us a very special topic, and it's about the topic of Chi Flow to manifest the best life, or your best life even, and really how to identify some of those chi blocks stopping you from manifesting your best life. Now, we are very lucky, and as I say, to have Laurent here because he is not just a feng shui, but also a Bazi consultant specialist. He has featured on the BBC radio, as well as Yahoo Experts, Bustle, CNews, or Kindred Spirits. He is the author of the book Chinese Astrology, Discover Bazi. It's in French, so hopefully we'd love to have that in English as well. And really, what's interesting is that you do have a lineage, and his Sifu is in Asia, Master G.K. Ham. And so your lineage is from the Han Wu lineage. So welcome again, and I'm going to hand the platform to yourself, and I'm going to mute myself. So everybody, if I can kindly ask for you to mute yourself while Laurent is presenting. And if you have anything you need to ask, please put it in the chat and we'll come back to you as soon as we take a pause. Okay? Thank you. Thank you, Laurent.
Brilliant. So you see my video now, yes? If I share screen, let me know if you see the presentation.
Yes, it's not in slideshow yet, but yes.
Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to start it. You see it fully, yeah? You see it full screen.
I see it fully. Yes, yes, correct.
Okay, you see it full screen?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay,
yes.
I'm just trying to, I still have a Zoom, it's a toolbar from Zoom. I'm just trying to hide it for me, but I'm not sure how I do that. Hide. Oh, it might disappear at some point, yeah? Do you see it? Do you see the toolbar at the bottom from Zoom?
Yeah, I mean, I see my toolbar, so yeah, yeah.
Okay, I see mine as well. Let me see. Let me toggle between the view.
Sure.
If there is a possibility to hide it. And do you see on the right side of my screen, do you see the video of everyone? I mean, you see it yourself, but when you see my screen, do you see the video again? Yeah.
Yes, I can see both yourself. I can see Taja and Darina. Yes, I can see others.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I just want the presentation full screen, and for me, I hope it's full screen for you. Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, brilliant. So the topic today is really to identify what are the blockages that are in your house, but not only, that can really stop you from manifesting the life you want. Okay, so we're gonna talk about an interesting concept in Feng Shui, but not only. And I'm gonna give you some tools, some tips to start identifying those blockages and leave them by yourself as well. All right, so Victoria introduced me already. I'm very grateful. So I do Feng Shui for home and business. I've been doing it since 2006 now. I'm also specialized in Chinese astrology, the form called the 4 Pillars of Destiny. Now I'm an author, so yeah, you see the cover of my book, and it's here. It's in French for now, so Marie Claire edition came to look for me in 2021 to publish his book on Chinese astrology in 2022. So it was released in October 2022. Rest assured, there will be an English version that's in the pipeline, but it's not quite there yet. So hopefully, I hope to release an English version in the first trimester or maybe first semester of next year. But if you read French, you can already take it, you know, buy it on Amazon and read it in French. How many people read or speak French here? I'm the only one, yeah? Okay, all right. And there is no Polish edition plan yet, so I'm very grateful someone could join from Poland, but it's not in the pipeline yet. It will be French and English. So really, the point of the Feng Shui I do is to really help you manifest your full potential. That's what I'm interested in. On our house or home can basically help us to do that, or can work against us. Okay, so that's something we're gonna see today. All right, if we talk about the Qi and the Qi flow, first it would be useful to define what is the Qi. So if you watch the old Star Wars, I would say the good one, if I would be cynical, the Empire Strikes Back. I don't know if you've seen that one, but you know, when Luke meets Yoda, Yoda described him the Force, you know, and this is this energy that is in between him and everything else, and basically give birth to living being. So it's a concept that has been totally ripped off from the Qi. The Qi can be found under other name in other cultures such as prana, breath of life, ether. So you have different names, different culture, and different type of elements that work with it. But basically, what you have to remember is that the Qi is a life force, really. That's what it is. And it's gonna give birth to life as we know it. So without Qi, we don't have life, okay? But the Qi is not only in living beings, it's in other things as well. That's the trick. But so how Chinese see the universe and formation of the universe, really it is this idea that close to the Big Bang, if you want, at first you have a kind of primordial soup, you know, where things are without form, and this is a Wu Qi, and then it differentiates in yin and yang. So yin and yang are those two forces that are opposite but also complementary. That's what you see in the symbol of yin and yang. You have two forces that work with each other and that give birth to each other. So when you go to extreme yin, you will start to have yang. When you go to extreme yang, you will start to have yin. So it's important not just to remember them as two opposite, but also two complementary forces. Without yin and yang, you can't give birth to life. Basically, you need those two forces, okay? So once you have the yin and yang, you have movements that create, and when you have two, you can have three, okay? So it's separate in different things, different beings, different season, different landform, and so on, and it creates the planet and the universe as we know it, okay? So we go from a Qi that is really undivided, like a big soup, if you want, to a Qi that is more and more specific, okay? That take many different forms. Okay, so Chinese have coded this through the trigram and hexagram. This seems like simple symbol, but they say a lot basically about the state of the Qi. And you can find this in the I Ching, where you have 64 hexagram to code the different type of Qi. All right, so I went too fast, so let's try to go back. All right, so we have an internal Qi, okay? The internal Qi is something we basically gonna see through acupuncture, okay? Acupuncture is one form of Chinese medicine that helps us to map the internal Qi. So here you see a map of the Qi that we have inside our body. This is for a woman. And you have different meridians, different channels of the Qi that basically will tell us where the Qi should go and which organ it's connected to. So the point of acupuncture is to help the Qi flow where it should flow, okay? And basically to lift blockage of the Qi. So what I want you to remember here is that for this internal Qi, we have a map, first and foremost. We have the Qi flow, and we have the IFD or lifting the blockage of the Qi flow, okay? So in Chinese philosophy, in Chinese medicine, if you start to have blockage of the Qi, you're gonna have pain, you're gonna have discomfort, and eventually you're gonna have disease, okay? So this is for your internal Qi, but we're gonna see this logic applied to other things as well. So remember a map, a Qi flow, and possible blockage that we can resolve. So you can also work on your qi on a daily basis, weekly or daily basis, even better, with Tai Chi and Qigong. Okay, so there are those practices that help you first to be grounded, and secondly, to help you to really get some of the qi circulating in your body. Okay, so I have one of my former teacher in Chinese astrology. I remember that he lost a big amount of weight and avoided basically developing diabetes when he really got into Tai Chi and did it every day. Okay? He reversed his the inception of his diabetes, basically. So that's quite impressive. Okay, he really was able to turn things around with the practice of daily Tai Chi. But then he was very committed. He did it morning and evening every day. So you can have also Chinese medicine with herbs, okay? For example, I take Chinese medicine all year long, herbs in the morning and evening for breakfast and dinner that my doctor in Chinese medicine send me every month. Or he adjusts depending of what I'm experiencing. So we have Chinese medicine, we have acupuncture, but now we're going to see Chinese medicine and acupuncture for your house. So this is what Feng Shui is about. So what you see here is a luopan, and you see my hand actually, picture taken a few years ago. So that was an old luopan I was using at the time. But basically, it's a tool to have a diagnosis of the qi and to see if the map of the qi in our house, in our business here is where it should be. So I have one of my luopan here right now, okay? So you have a needle in the center, you align it in the proper direction with a needle, and then you're gonna look, you're gonna have the house, for example, at your back, and you're gonna look at the direction that will be the facing direction of the house. You're gonna do the same for the main door once inside, and those directions will assist you into putting this map of the house or business or any building really on do the diagnosis basically. All right, so I talk about qi in your body, but we have a qi flow in your home. We're gonna focus more on home today rather than business. Business, we use the same map, but we have different technique. And some things that can be good for business can not be appropriate for home, okay? Because business, you want more activity on a daily basis. So you see this map. If you're not familiar with this map, it's called a bagua or pakwa. Basically, we have the main directions that we know. We have 8 different sectors plus the center. And you see the trigram that were different state of the qi. We find the trigram again on the bagua, okay? So we have different energy associated with different sector on their call. Well, we're gonna see this on the next slide. But what I want you to see as well, what's interesting is this is the first time you see a bagua or pakwa, is that the south is on top and north is at the bottom, okay? And in the way we use the map, usually geographical map, Google map or any map you use, you have north on top, okay? Usually that's the convention we use. The Chinese put south on top and north at the bottom. The reason is south is associated with the fire element, and fire rise above, okay? You can't have fire that goes down, all right? And north is associated with the water element, and water always goes down. If you see water going up, you have a bug in the matrix, okay? So basically, if fire associated with south always goes on top, we have to put south on the top direction. And if north associated with water, water always goes down, so we put north at the bottom. That's the reason why the bagua seems reversed with regular direction on the map. So you have to do this mental gymnastic, okay, when you put the bagua on your house. All right. Okay, so with this animation, you see I've orientated the bagua for the orientation of this apartment I did in London. And then it helps me to diagnose if things like the bathroom, the kitchen, the bedroom are properly placed or not. if clients call me, if people call me to help them with their house and with their life, chances are things are not properly placed. And we need to introduce correction with design, with symbolism. Sometimes they call me before renovation, so it's fantastic. We can renovate the house and shift things around. But if we can't, we're going to use color, symbolism, and different remedies. All right, so the block we have in Feng Shui to really basically really do the diagnosis of the house, of the business, and put the remedies and transform the premises are called the 5 elements. It's the same thing used in Chinese medicine, same thing used in their philosophy, naturalistic philosophy. So those 5 elements are water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. So remember, it gets complex in Feng Shui. You can have fancy formula like water dragon, like things called 5 ghost rivers, carries a treasure, or different things like that. So those are formula, but they always based on the 5 elements. Okay, where are the 5 elements? Which direction they come from, and things like that. Okay, so as complex as it gets, we always go to either a balance of yin and yang on what's happening with the 5 elements. Okay, so I really want you to remember this, always bring it back to the 5 element logic. What is this logic? If you don't know the cycle, we have 3 main cycles of the 5 elements. So one cycle is productive. I heard something, sorry.
No. Can you please ask people to go on mute, or I'll mute you in a second.
Oh, I can't hear. Sorry, could you repeat?
Laurent, I'm going to mute people, don't worry. I'm going to mute people.
Ah, okay, yes, yeah. Okay, yeah, I was hearing other voices. I'm glad it's not in my head. So what we have is one productive cycle. So it's very easy. Then you read it here on this slide from left to the right. Water will feed the wood. Wood will burn into the fire. Fire ashes will produce earth, will nourish the earth. On inside the earth, you find metal. And then you go back to water. Metal produce water. Metal produce water is always a funny one. People ask me, how does it come that metal produce water? Well, there are 3 reasons. If you melt metal, it's going to become liquid. So that resembles a water element. Secondly, you can have condensation on piece of metal. So it can bring the water from the air together, can produce water in that way. And last thing is that in water from spring, you have mineral ions, okay? Calcium, magnesium, those things are actually metallic ions, okay? So we have metal in the water. All right, so what I would like you to consider when you do Feng Shui is that your home is a soil for you to grow and blossom it, okay? So you're gonna have to take care of this soil. If you bring the wrong type of soil for the plant, you want to grow. If you want it to blossom, it's not going to work very well. Okay, depending if it's basically this type of flower or this other type of flower, you need a specific type of soil. So consider yourself a flower that can blossom and offer your beauty to the world. But for this, you need the right soil. If the soil is not nourishing, you're not gonna grow and you're not gonna thrive the way you should. Okay, so we're gonna have to take care of this soil and see if it's nourishing. So the point of this seminar is to give you already some tips to remove those obstruction and clashes of element in your home, because they will manifest some blockage in your life. And here we talk about a concept that is very interesting called the morphogenic field. Okay, you can look for an author, someone who's still alive, called Rupert Sheldrake. He speaks about it, he gives conferences about it, and it's very interesting. It's the idea that, you know, things are projected in your environment or also in the species you belong to. Okay, so the dogs have a specific morphogenic field for the dogs, and we have a specific one for human beings. But Feng Shui use this theory, even if they didn't call it this way. It's like there's a projection of who you are in your daily environment. So it's a feedback, okay? It's a feedback loop. If you're not aware of it, you have projected things that are probably not in the right place, or not really supporting you because you currently have problem in your life. But also sometimes you choose house that basically have a projection that is not mapping your own projection to blossom. Okay, so you need to put 2 and 2 together. All right, those blockages can be created by different things. So one is the obstruction of the flow. Okay, that's something we have seen at the beginning with acupuncture. Okay, so we're gonna aim at replenishing, having a proper flow of the qi. Okay, second thing, clash of elements. Okay, so those clash of elements are blockaged by themselves. We're gonna see this quite soon. Stimulating the wrong location, a location that should be quiet and this overstimulated, can create a blockage. On vice versa, some location should be stimulated. On inversion of yin and yang polarity. All right, so for example, yin and yang polarity inversion is that if your bedroom is too yang, how can it be too yang? It can be colors that are very ethic, very intense. It could be that you have big bay windows and you don't have a proper curtain, so then you get all this qi always coming in toward your bed. It could be that you have a big straight line between the main door on your window, so then the qi is rushing from one to the other. It could be also now modern problems that you have too much electricity on sockets, on electric items around your bed. Okay, but it's not traditional Feng Shui, but a good tip I can tell you is that don't take your phone to your bed. Okay, it will create a stimulation that really basically challenge your hormonal system, your circadian rhythm, and then it affects also your internal qi. Okay, we're gonna take care of your home so you have the best possible qi in your home, but you want to take care of your own qi as well. Okay, you want to be nourished by your actions. Okay, so that's one example of obstruction of the flow. That's one entrance here that is very cluttered. So clutter is not really historically, I would say, a really traditional concept in the old Feng Shui, because at the time they just didn't have capitalism. Okay, so they didn't have Amazon to buy things every month, so they tend to add what they needed to basically survive. And sometimes the wealthy had more, but there was no idea as such as of clutter in old Chinese Feng Shui. Nevertheless, we have identified this problem in modern time as an obstruction of the qi. Okay, so it's very important to remove it. Okay, it's really connected to other concepts in Feng Shui that are obstruction of landform. Sometimes, okay, you have a hill or a mountain that is basically not properly placed for your house, and then it will obstruct some of the qi coming in. Okay, but this is the same thing. You create small mountain of mess that will obstruct the qi. So the entrance is the qi. It's called the qi mouse. Okay, th is always difficult to pronounce for French, but mouse. So if you have an obstruction of the qi mouse, you're not going to be nourished. Okay, imagine if you have a grid, if you have things that are put in front of your mouse every time you want to eat. Okay, you're not going to be nourished very well, and then your qi, your vitality is not going to be very vibrant. Same for your house. The main entrance, the back entrance, all the entrance you use are the qi mouse. Okay, so we have rules that are based on your date of birth, on is it a proper entrance for you or not, how can we convert it, can we make it better. So those are specific to different sectors, but without going into this level of details, you want your entrance to allow the qi to flow in. Okay, so here we have a good transformation of this backdoor entrance, basically, that is really now inviting the qi in. We also had a change of color. Now it's metal on some water element. So then we have this level of refinement. We're going to match the color with the sector of the house where the main door is, and also look at which element benefit your own energy based on your date of birth. Okay, but another obstruction of the flow has to do with the center. So this is one of my, how you call this, pet peeves, well, something like this, like pet peeve, or well, I don't remember the expression, but one of my obsession when I do Feng Shui, okay? You have to let the center flow, okay? In Chinese time, in all time in China, you really had those Chinese houses that were built around a courtyard, but it's not the only culture that does this. You had it in for the Romans. In modern time, you have it in the hacienda. You have it also. I lived in Budapest for a while. On all their building are built usually around an inner courtyard. Okay, and then you have the four sides where the apartments are. So many cultures have understood that if you have a center that is free flowing, you have better qi and you're gonna thrive better. Okay, so one of your homework after this this presentation will be to identify what you have in the center of your home, a flat or house, and then see if it's really cluttered by something. Okay, for example, you can have closet where you put all your mess. Okay, so it would be good to change this, but it can be really obstructed by the room that is in it. Okay, if you have a living room, if you have a bedroom, that's all right, but if you have a kitchen, if you have a bathroom, that's a problem we're gonna need to solve in Feng Shui. So this apartment I did in New York, you can see the plan. I especially choose this floor plan to show you that the center is not always very intuitive. You have to calculate it. Well, luckily your Feng Shui consultant does this for you. But the white square here is the center, okay? And here, this man has the kitchen in the center. And sure enough, very often he has reversal of fortune, reversal of luck, okay? Because this kitchen is overstimulating the center where it should be grounded and quiet. So in Feng Shui, we say the center is where the yellow snake sleeps. So we have symbolic animals that are around the house, but there is one that is inside the house. It's the yellow snake. And you don't want to awaken this yellow snake. Okay, so you want it to sleep. So if you have a kitchen, it's going to bring fire in the center. It's going to agitate the yellow snake. You're going to need to bring earth in the center to ground this yellow snake on this center, okay, to bring back a life that is more in balance. Another plan, okay, this is one I'm currently working on right now, a house in London. And then you see here, we have the bathroom, we have a toilet actually right in the center. So that's a similar problem. And even if it's not fire, even if it's not a kitchen, the water is gonna mix with the earth that is traditionally in the center, or not, it's not ideal, okay? So we're gonna need to redesign to solidify this earth remedy and minimize either the water or the fire. Of course, you know, if you can't shift things around, here we have a client that is lucky because she's redesigning everything with her partner. So we have freedom to move things around. So we're gonna move those toilet outside of the center on outside of the central axis actually. But if you can't, we're gonna play with color, material, and remedies to solve the problem, okay? I remember a client, where he's a client, a friend, and he used to be my doctor in Chinese medicine years ago. And he has a clinic in Wales and a house in Wales as well. So one of his problems, I did Feng Shui for both his clinic and house. And I remember he told me he had bright kids and they were very hyperactive, okay? And sure enough, in the center of the house, there was a room that was connecting the staircase and other rooms, the living room as well. And in this room, they had all the computers. They were using computer all the time. There were three computers, two for the parents, one for the kids, with big screen. They were playing a piano, okay, which is another stimulation. And the room was painted red, okay? So you just had layers over layers of fire stimulation, okay, with the electricity, with the red, with the music going on. So one of the first things I've told them to do in the layers of what we had to implement, I say, you're gonna paint this room in either yellow or brown, earth color, okay? And we're gonna shift the computer in other room as well, okay? And, you know, they were not super enthusiastic with this idea. And the reason why is when you're overstimulated, you're addicted to this overstimulation, okay? It's like with a computer screen or tablets nowadays. So you sometimes don't want to become grounded, okay? But they did it. And then it told me 3 weeks later, it's incredible. The kids now are really quiet. They go to bed on time. They're not hyperactive. I say, yeah, that was the result I was expecting. So we did other things, but grounding the center was really a game changer. Okay, so how can you block the elements? Because today we're talking about blockage. So they're clash, okay, a clash of elements, but they're gonna block the other element. North, water is blocked by earth, okay? Earth is gonna block water. And water belongs to the north, okay? Wood that you find in east and southeast of the Bagua map is blocked by metal, okay? Fire that you find in south is blocked by water, okay? No, metals that you find in northwest and west is blocked by fire, okay? Fire is gonna melt the metal. On the earth sector, which are southwest, northeast, and center, are blocked by wood, okay? This one is not necessarily in treaty, but wood take from the earth, okay? So I want you, even if you're not too familiar with Feng Shui, try to find the center of your home and then trying to look, okay, what do I have in south, what do I have in north, and so on, and see if you have rooms or if you have elements that are blocking the element that should be there, okay? We're gonna see some examples. The solution, either you convert to the right element for the sector, okay? You put water in north, for example, and you put more fire activity with computer, with TV, and so on in south, that's, or a kitchen in south, okay? That can be bringing the right element for the sector. But if you can't do that, one of the big solutions in Feng Shui is going to enhance the balancing element that is the one removing the clash, okay? So let me give you some precise example, okay? First, I can send you the slide. You can email me afterward. If there is a slide you want to see in particular, no problem, I can send it to you if you don't have time to screenshot. But here, basically, this is a chart about which elements you have, how they connect to shape, color, material, and also number, and in which sector they are. So these are traditional sector, North Carrier, South Fire. We're gonna see a twist on this a bit later, okay? So that's how you're gonna identify through shape, color, very important in Feng Shui, it's extremely important. We use color conversion to change the element, but shape, color, material, number, all of these will enhance an element or another, okay? So, one blockage, one clash, water and south. I remember this client in California, called me, prospective client, and then we did the Feng Shui consultation. But she told me, since I moved here, we have more problem, and especially one of her problem is was her husband having irregular heartbeat, okay, and they had a scare, thinking he was having a heart attack. He didn't, luckily. But without seeing the plan, my first question was, you're in California, you have a swimming pool? She said, yes. Do you have the swimming pools in the south sector of your house? She said, yes. Okay. I told her, okay, in the chart of your husband, we're gonna see a problem, probably a weakness for the fire element. Fire connect to the heart. The heart in Chinese medicine is fire. But also I was expecting to find too much water in south, okay? Because then we have a water blocking the fire element in the south, where fire should be strong, okay? They didn't want it to redesign the pool. I understand that, okay? Feng Shui has to be practical, but they want also this, this man to not have irregular heartbeat, okay? So the solution, if you have a clash between water and fire, what's balance the clash in between is wood, because water is gonna feed the wood, wood is gonna feed fire, okay? So then you can buffer the clash with wood. So surround the pool with a lot of wood and bring also small trees, shrub, bushes in between the house and the swimming pool. And that's what it did, and the problem disappeared, okay? I still recommend he monitors his diet, he's more careful during his astrological time where he's under stress, but the problem of irregular heartbeat disappear when they solve the problem with this on redesign around the swimming pool. So that's one example. So check for you if you don't have a swimming pool in London or wherever you are. Check still if you have your bathroom in the south, okay? It's not necessarily your heart, but you can have eye problem, okay, in hairs, but it can be other things. It can be a problem with your reputation. It can be a problem with your vitality, okay? You never find the energy to do things. It can be a bathroom in south, okay? Too much wood in southwest. So this is a clash that was a bit counterintuitive with wood taking from the earth. Southwest should be an earth location. Here we have a lot of wood, as you can see. If you can move things around, brilliant. We're gonna shift things around with other room. If you can't, if you don't want to, maybe you have wood panel, okay, you don't want to redesign, you have wood flooring, wood panel, you have a big table that take 20 people to move, or you don't want to redesign. Okay, same idea. We're gonna bring the balancing element. What's balance? A clash, a blockage between wood and earth? Well, this is fire, okay? Because then you're gonna have fire that use some of the wood and that's gonna nourish the earth, okay? So that was the case with the client. It's not a picture from a house, but a mother, single mother, and she was spread thin. Well, you could say a lot of single mothers are spread thin, that's for sure, but we found a lot of wood with her desk and her library in Southwest sector. On Southwest, it's traditionally the sector, the trigram of the mother, okay? So it was no surprise to find that she had too much on her shoulder, on her back. So she couldn't redesign completely. We removed one of the furniture that was made of wood, but we really brought in more fire elements with fire color in painting, and also putting two lamps, small lamps, crystal lamps that were on all the time. Why two? 2 is a fire number, 2 and 7. Okay, so then enhance the fire element. Remember, you can enhance with material, with color, with number as well. Okay, too much metal in east, southeast. So same idea. Try to see what you have in east, southeast. Do you have a room that is all white? Think in color as well. White is a metal color, but this kitchen has a lot of white plus metal appliances. You see, all the appliances are metal. So if this is in east, you're chopping down the wood, okay, with a lot of metal where you should have wood the strongest, okay? This has to do with health and family harmony as well in the east, okay? So same thing, if these people cannot redesign, cannot shift things around, we're gonna have to well, redesign, I mean, like shifting things around and moving room, we're gonna have to redesign through color symbolism and so on. What removes the clash between metal and wood, this blockage? Water element, okay? Then we have water is gonna use some of the wood to be stronger, and then it's gonna nourish some of the metal, sorry. So water is gonna use some of the metal, and it's gonna nourish the wood, okay? So you introduce water. So here you can introduce big jar made of glass full of water, okay, that with a little tap to take your drinking water, that's a water element, physical water element. Glass also is a water material in my school of Feng Shui. And you can repaint the cabinet in either light blue or black, okay? If really those colors don't appeal, people can still use the wood, reinforce the wood element here, but you need to have a bit of water at least to make the junction. We try not to seek in clash. You can't just put the element here without removing the ones that clash or converting partly, okay? You have to either remove it or convert it, okay? Otherwise, if you put more of the elements that should belong here, but don't remove the ones that clash, you're still going to have a clash, okay? Okay, stimulating the wrong area. So this one, my school of Feng Shui is really obsessed about it, about the center of Northwest, but for a reason. Northwest connect to many things. So here you can see there is a stove, okay, in the kitchen in Northwest sector. Okay, Northwest is a sector where metal should be strong, okay? When you put a stove here, it's called put fire at heaven's gate, okay? It's a formula in Feng Shui. So you don't want to put fire at heaven's gate, basically. So if it's metal, you don't want to have fires that melt it, okay? Northwest connect to many things. It connects to the father figure. It connects to who is ruling this household where you live, okay? If there's no fire in this household, it can be you as a mother. If you're really doing all the things in the house, it's still gonna affect you. But Northwest also have to do with harmony, okay? The reason why we call it heaven in the background, okay? So if you put fire here, you put disharmony, you melt the metal, all right? I remember a case was kind of beautiful. I had this lady. She called me very often. You know, it's a woman. It's a lady who called me when they're just two, and to do the Feng Shui. You women often have more awareness of those energetical matters. So call me and say, you know, I think we need Feng Shui. We will start to argue a lot with my boyfriend, something have changed. And there's this apartment for a while, but new problem was bringing. So, okay, first, you know, when you change year, you can change things around, okay? There are good and bad sectors, so depending where you sleep, depending where's your mentor, it's gonna trigger things. But it wasn't only this, you know. I saw that in Norwest sector, and it has been going on for 2 weeks, she was putting 3 large candles, okay? On every evening, she was lighting the candle only for 2 weeks, you know, before I come for the consultation. So I asked her, we're gonna move those candles. And there were other things we need to move around, but we moved those candles outside of Northwest, okay? Because she was literally putting fire at Heaven's Gate. On 3 is a wood number. So if you use a wood number, you're going to enhance the fire element, okay? So it was everything that was putting strong fire in Northwest and really making the argument more frequent and stronger. But she also had a problem with her father prior to that. So she bought those candles and subconsciously, without knowing Feng Shui, put them in the harmony sector, creating disharmony at home, but also in the father sector to symbolize the conflict she had with her own father, okay? So things improve after with her boyfriend and with her father after we did the Feng Shui. So what are your current life blocks? So one way of screening this is gonna be what is blocking my life, what is not working very well, how long I've been living in this house, okay? On which sector connect to those life block, okay? Career, money, career, check in north, your reputation, check in south, and so on. But that's one type of Feng Shui, and this is absolutely valid. But now I would like you to think beyond this Feng Shui and to introduce a new component, okay? Because we have more than one Chi in our life. So heaven, human, on earth, this is a concept called the three luck in Chinese philosophy. We have seen now earth, which is the Feng Shui, okay? Your home, your Feng Shui, that's earth Chi, okay? But you have other one, you have your free will, that's your action, which karma you create on a daily basis. It's gonna change your luck, it's gonna change your destiny. Without free will, there's no karma. If you have karma, you have free will, guaranteed. But there is also your astrology, and this is why I'm really passionate to do the Bustle, the 4 pillars of destiny, with the Feng Shui, okay? Because we can connect both. All right, this is what a 4 pillar of destiny chart, a Bustle, looks like. So don't get scared if we do your Feng Shui constellation or if we do your Bustle constellation or both together, we will go through it together. But basically a pillar is made of one of the 5 elements on one of the Chinese animal, which are made of the elements themselves, okay? And this is a pillar of time. So the pillar can be year, month, day, and time. And this is how we translate your date of birth, basically, into a 4 pillar, okay? And here, what I'm circling in red is called the day master, okay? This day master is your main archetype, is what rules this chart, okay? So here's the thing, here's the beauty of it. We talk about the 5 elements, on how you have blockage of the 5 elements, on the chi flow through the 5 elements. But yourself, you are made of the 5 elements. Everything is made of the 5 elements. It's like Oprah Winfrey saying, this is made of the 5 elements, this is made of 5 elements, everything is made of the 5 elements, okay? You are made of the 5 elements as well. So everybody is made with some common aspects. Your heart is fire, for example, okay? Your liver connects more to the wood element. Your lung connect more to the metal element. That's for everyone. But then you have a personal DNA, a personal projection, a personal energy, which is unique to your date of birth. This is your 4 pillar destiny. So you might be a metal person, a water person, a wood person, a fire, or an earth person. You're one of the 5 elements, the one ruling your date of birth, okay? So in that case, what is your money element? What is your relationship element? What is your career element, and so on? Everything in your life might be the one you find in the regular traditional sector, or might be different, okay? It depends on your astrology. For example, I'm a metal person. So metal find the money element in wood, okay? Wood belong to East and Southeast sector. So Southeast sector in the 8 mentioned Feng Shui connect to money, okay, to wealth. So for me, as a metal person, yang metal, yin metal, doesn't matter. Yes, money is in the wood. I will find it in Southeast, also in East, okay? But if you, some other element, okay, some other element in your Chinese astrology, in your 4 pillar destiny, if you would, okay, your money is in the earth element. It's not going to be in East and Southeast sector of the house, Southeast traditionally, okay? If you're fire, your money is going to be in metal element. Look, if you're a fire person, if you're born with a fire day, then your money is in opposite sector of Southeast, okay? It doesn't mean this is not accurate to say money is in Southeast, fame is in South. This is true for the Bagua, the general Bagua, and for your house. So your house needs to make money. It needs to be a money-making house, okay? So you need to take care of having enough food in Southeast. But you, to connect to your money potential, your house might make money, but you not able to keep the money because maybe your money element is in the opposite sector in metal, in west or northeast, for example, northwest, for example, okay? If you're an earth person, then your money is going to be in water. If you're a metal person, your money is going to be wood, okay, matching the traditional sector. Water, your money is going to be in fire, in the reputation sector of South, okay? So when you introduce your 4 pillar of destiny, they use the same symbols, they use the same energy that we find on the Chinese compass. The Chinese compass has a symbol of the animal on the 5 elements on them. It's the same one, but they connect to space, the person, on time, okay, everything. So don't worry, you can send me an email. I will send you this slide if you don't have time to screenshot it. And I will also tell you, if you email me, how to do your wealth phase on in which sector to put it, okay? There's a calculator on my website. You can calculate your chart for free. And then I will tell you, based on your chart, where you put your wealth phase, okay? Then, okay, your love element, I assume there is a bit more women here today than men. It's usually the case. So if you're a wood person, okay, a wood woman, your love element is going to be in metal, okay? If you're fire, it's going to be in water. Earth, it's going to be in wood. Metal in fire. On water, it's going to be in earth, okay? If you're a man, then, okay, it's an interesting twist, but your love element is the same as your money element, okay? I'm not going to comment further on that. But the love element for men is the same as a money element, so that was this one. That was this chart, okay? But if you're a woman, this is the element controlling your day of birth, that is your love element, okay? So maybe you have done a right-thing stimulating relation in Southwest and you're still not finding your partner. So then we're gonna look at what is your timing, is your timing conducive in your astrology right now to find partnership. There's always a year that is conducive, so don't worry. And then we're gonna really enhance your peach blossom sector, which is your charisma sector, and we're gonna enhance your partner sector, and that depends of your day of birth on your self element. Okay, so this is a bigger version of it, but also your work element, your boss. Okay, if you're a water person, your boss is earth, wood, metal, and so on. Same, I can send you the slide. Don't worry if you're a bit short on time to write things down. And this is recorded as well, this presentation. So love element, as we've seen, woman or man, it's different. Okay, on vitality, your vitality is going to depend of your flow of element in your 4 pillars and the clash you have. Okay, but also your career, for example, we're going to see what you have in your month pillar. Okay, that's going to define a lot of your career. Okay, so do you have 2 elements that clash? Do you have 2 elements that represent money in your month pillar? We're going to look at this, and that's going to help us to analyze your career potential and which career fits you as well. And finally, there is something else. It's connecting the time. Okay, we connected you as a person with your Feng Shui. Now we're going to connect with the time. Okay, so I love this. I launched this membership in 2017. And it's going well. The client of my membership are super excited because it's very fun. This is another version of the Bagua. Don't worry about the Chinese character, but you have south on top, it's fire, you have water at the bottom in north, east, on southeast are wood. And then this is a Chinese oracle called the Men Dun Jia. You don't need to remember that, but it helps me to calculate where is the luck every month, every day, and for every 2 hours. Okay, so then in my membership, I give you 5 activation per month. This chart tells me on that day for this hour in East, there is a spectacular formation that needs to be activated. Okay, so then I give you in the membership, okay, activate the East sector of your house, okay, during those times. So depend if you have summertime or not summertime. Currently we have summertime in Europe, so DST. Okay, and then activation is either done by traveling. If you don't want to be in your house, you travel in that direction from when you are. It's explained in the membership. Or you activate at home with water, with a water pump in a bucket, okay, in a basin, and you put it on for the 2 hours in the sector of your house that corresponds to the sector of activation. If you're confused, I will help you when you sign up for my membership to find the sector on the different room of your house, okay? So don't worry about this. But this is done after. You focus in the first 5 minutes on what you want to really manifest in terms of money, career, relationship. You do the activation, and then it's done. And you have 5 per month, and you're gonna see your luck change, because this time we connect time and space with the universal luck, okay? So you can sign up for this membership, and you will have 5 activation per month. So right, that's the last slide. We're on time. Quite happy about that. So this is my website, laurentlanglais.com. Same thing, you will get the link. You can email me as well. You have the membership. I do Feng Shui, I do Bustle. But today, for everybody who was here today, I'd like to offer you 10% of Feng Shui, Bustle, and also my membership. So all those consultations on the membership, if you sign up before the 13th, you will get 10% of all my services. Okay, this is my website. This is my email address. And now we should have time for some question, I believe.
Excellent. Okay. Right. Okay. Laurent, okay, so anybody, that was firstly really fantastic. That was really, 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 an eye-opener, because you're going back for me to kind of some of the more, traditional Feng Shui classic principles, which is almost getting the foundations right before trying to get too adventurous. And that's what I really loved. I particularly loved also the but where you're case study around the water and the pool in the south, I found out was really, really interesting as well. Okay, if you'd like to ask some questions, please either put it in the chat or raise your hand, and I'm sure Laurent is here to answer some of your amazing questions. Okay. Amazing presentation, Laurent. Merci.
Thank you.
We have a bit of a shy audience here today. Any questions? Margarita joined us. Oh, Darina, this was really fantastic. This was a really fantastic presentation. That's what Darina said. That's a lovely message. Thank you, she says. We might have something else in the chat for you. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes, Wendy, please go ahead. You've raised your hand. Please go ahead.
Just a quick one. I had a real job trying to get in, so I've missed half of it. And it was a bit mind-blowing catching up halfway. So is there going to be a recording of the whole thing?
Yes, absolutely. You'll receive the link to the recording. I'm glad.
Fabulous, because I was like, oh my God, I've missed it. I've missed this.
You'll never miss anything on the Feng Shui Society. We'll record it and send it out. Yeah.
Fabulous, thank you.
When did you actually have a question for Laurent now that we've got him here?
Yeah, Karina, what about stake and Sator of the Tai Chi? So the Tai Chi is basically, for people who don't know, it's called your personal basically limits, your Tai Chi. So this is your home, for example. So if you have a staircase in the center, well, it is some activation, okay? I would say if you don't rush up and down, if you don't run the staircase, which is not recommended anyway, it's not activating as much as a kitchen on as a bathroom. I would still reinforce the earth element, nevertheless, with an earth remedies I can explain to you. But I would like this to be a bit more grounded, because obviously here we're not going to use a remedies that involve, putting a fire element or anything like this, okay? If you have a spiral staircase, it's a bit more tricky because you're piercing the center, okay? It's traditional thing as well, piercing center, because you have this corkscrew shape. Okay, and this is a bit more complex to correct, but this is a regular square staircase. Okay, don't rain the staircase. Don't put red carpet in the staircase, and we're gonna bring some earth remedy to ground it. Okay, let me see the other question, because yeah, staircase, all right. Is there any lecture or commander learning about those concepts? So I think even if not my Sifu is not my my master at all, but I think Joy Yap has done a good job into bringing some traditional concept to mainstream audience. And if you speak French, I would recommend you read my book. But it will be released in English eventually, and there will be a Feng Shui book as well eventually. It's on the bucket list. Boiler in the center, same thing. Okay. Here's a concept, you really have more of a problem if there is interaction with the open chi, okay? For example, if you have a bathtub, okay, you really have an interaction with the water on the open chi, okay? Boiler is on case, okay? But same thing, okay, boiler is definitely bringing too much heat in the center. I'm gonna ask you to paint yellow and brown in this room around the boiler. On nobody, really live in this boiler room. So people sometimes are a bit adverse to those strong earth colors that are grounding. Like they're like, oh, I don't want this yellow, but in the boiler room nobody is gonna see it. So go with the yellow, okay? Really dense yellows are gonna bring the boiler down. What can we do according to Feng Shui for the present season? So by season, you mean the flying star all the time? You mean what is this? We're gonna change period, okay? We're gonna change period next year. We're gonna go in period 9. So depending on the period, we have different auspicious door facing, different landform positions that are auspicious or inauspicious. That's part of the traditional Feng Shui. But if you talk really about the season, I don't tend to change the Feng Shui layout every 3 months. That would be very, exhausting. So I really do basically do a Feng Shui setup that you're going to be good for years to come. But I would say for the season, go with Chinese medicine and adjust the Chinese medicine with your doctor for the chi of the season. That's really the thing to do. The Finnish swimming pool, not sure I have it in my file. I will check if I have this. Please send me an email on if I have this swimming pool from the client. Advice for accurately determining the center of your home. Well, if you have a square, if you have a rectangular shape, that's easy. Okay, you do your basically your diagonal, and then you're gonna put a 9 square grid on this. If you have an L shape, if you have an irregular shape, I would say call your Feng Shui consultant. That will be my advice to determine the center. What about the corridor in the center of the house? No, corridor are good. There's things we can absolutely have in the center. You can have a living room in the center, but you can have corridor. It's not like okay, if you have hyperactive kids that are running in the corridor all day long, you're gonna tell them run somewhere else, okay? But otherwise, it's not considered major activation. Actually, the center axes are good for hallway and corridors. What remedy you would recommend on a slanted ceiling in the master bedroom? Slanted ceiling, if it's high enough, we do a fake ceiling, basically, that's really hides the slant, but we can try to soften it with some specific color. But, this is one of these things where it's not, if you don't really have the space to soften it with shaping the ceiling differently, we're gonna use some color to soften it. The best is still not to be there, okay? Let's be honest, okay? But what we have as well, we're gonna bring some earth remedies still on the side. Why? Because slanted ceiling, you will always have a fire shape, okay? You will have a fire shape created by the triangle, so we will bring one earth remedy, one discrete earth remedy behind the slanted ceiling on behind the bed, under the slanted ceiling, to bring also earth shapes that counteract the fire shape, okay? Bathroom in center of the plant with fully tiled in sage green with light accent. Where I'm gonna bring you some earth remedy if you don't want to redesign. I would say change your style. If at some point you redesign, change your style for some that are earth color or that are really natural stone colors, and you will bring enough earth to ground this bathroom in the center, because here you have a wood element, you have bathroom, so you're gonna have, okay, you have partly a solution, okay, with your sage tiles, because you buffer some of the water in the center. So it's still a bit better than having this water on earth mix that creates mud, okay? But it's still not enough, okay? We're gonna need to buffer this water more, okay? So we're gonna need more earth remedy to really ground this center, but also we're gonna bring some of the metal element. Why? Because we still need to reestablish a connection between this splash of water and earth, okay? Yes, my approach certainly follow classical. I'm very classical. I'm very classical. So I respect all form of Feng Shui, but I was formed by a Chinese lineage for Batsu, for Feng Shui, for Chinese oracle as well. Beams. Beams, it all depends, okay, how high they are. If you can do a fake ceiling, that high the beams, and you're good, okay, you don't have the problem anymore. Otherwise, we're gonna play with the color to kind of have those beams disappear, okay, like an optical illusion. If you notice them less, they're not gonna be so much of straight lines that cut your body. But no, if the beams are high enough on the ceiling, you're not affected so much, okay, by that. It really depends how high is your ceiling as well. All right, any other question? That's a good question, Karina. That's a very good question. So let me show you a plan. So I've illustrated. So Karina is asking, we use a 9 square grid in Feng Shui, but we also use a round compass. So how do you how do you run the square or squares around, you know, squares a cycle. So basically in my school of Feng Shui, if you have a square, we can put the circular compass in the middle and then we project. It's quite easy, okay? To have the projection in pie chart is easy. But if you have anything that become a rectangular shape or anything else, we need to do a projection. It's the same thing when you do a projection of the map of the world. You know, the world is a globe, and then you need to project, okay, on something that is flat, okay? So this is how you do. You see, I report all those things, and basically, those directions are narrower on this side, okay, the direction of the compass, and they're more spread out on the length, okay? This is how we do it. So you do a projection, you don't use a cycle anymore in this rectangular shape, and here you have more spread out direction, okay? Spread out sector, and here narrower, okay? Okay, do you recommend changing basically the fire location on the element location on the background if you're in the southern hemisphere? Okay, that's an endless debate in Feng Shui, okay? Because people say, okay, once you're in southern hemisphere, you go south, it's gonna get colder, you go north, it's gonna get hotter, okay? So you reverse in terms of temperature. Yes, it's true, but the nature of the elements remains. Fire always rises on top, water always goes down, okay? Wood always expand, metal always contract, okay? Earth always compile. So the nature, the movement of the elements remains the same, no matter northern or southern hemisphere. Plus, Qi is also, the Qi we use in Feng Shui is also based on magnetism, okay? On North and South Pole remains the same, okay? Same magnetism, all right? So we use the same bagua in Southern on Northern Hemisphere in my school of Feng Shui, traditional school of Feng Shui. I understand your question. It's true that the South is not gonna be as fiery in Southern Hemisphere, on North is gonna be hotter. There's a slightly different temperature for North and South, but the movement of the elements, the fundamental movement, it's not like, for example, imagine if you reverse the bagua in Southern Hemisphere, in my logic at least, then you would say, okay, my fire in Chinese medicine, my heart is not nourished by fire anymore. Now it's nourished by water. Well, good luck, you know. Good luck with your body if now your kidney are nourished by fire element and your heart is nourished by water element. Okay, so you're not gonna reverse the logic, the traditional element in your body, for example. So I don't reverse the backward. Yeah.
So, Laurent, I've noted Margarita's had her hand up for a little while as well.
Yeah. Sorry. If you could unmute, yeah.
I just had a question about, you mentioned an author, Rupert Cedric. I don't know if
Rupert Sheldrake.
Cedric, okay.
With a French accent.
Yeah, good, gracias.
So let me write it down for you in the chat.
Thank you.
It should be like this. So he's not talking about traditional Feng Shui, but he gives conference on the morphogenic field. Fascinating concept. And I connected the dot together. This is what we use in Feng Shui.
Thank you.
Missing corner, yes, I use a mirror to extend missing corner. Missing corner always represents some area of your life that are a bit, shrunk, okay? But believe it or not, in traditional Feng Shui, we have formula where, for example, some missing corner are not negative. They can help with, when you work for the state, you were in all time working for the emperor of the state, you could have promotion with a specific missing corner and so on. But those are very specific house shape and so on. There's one that is a double horseshoe shape and so on. So those things, you have to know them, but it's not because you have missing corner, it's always negative, basically. Any other question?
Hey, I think that was amazing. You've had lots of questions fired at you in a very short period of time.
Yeah, everybody is like, wow.
Yes,
that will be my interpretation.
and some really, really fantastic answers and such positive slant as well, even using classical Feng Shui. I really love how, oh, you've got another question coming in from Matthew, but I really love how you have a solution and some practicality to some of what the classical Feng Shui. I think that's positive in the modern day world we're living. There is a question for you that's come in, Laurent, from Madhu. Let me just see. Oh, is it?
Do I do earth acupuncture? No, I don't. I find this very interesting. I would say any traditional geomancy complement Feng Shui very well, but I don't myself.
Okay, any other questions? I've just admitted someone in, actually, Laurent, by the way, so still late, keeping an eye on the time. I'm not very good at timekeeping, but obviously the Q&A session has proved to be very successful. Any other questions, any comments? We've got this lovely Laurent Alger, this gentleman with us, so if you have any one final question, I'm sure Laurent can ask. You can ask Laurent that final question if anyone has that opportunity.
Yeah. Not the meaning of life. It's gonna take a while. Can give you the contact of my hairdresser if you want. Let me know.
Right. Okay. I think it's time. I think we can wrap up here. No more questions. It's been a fantastic evening. I hope everyone's enjoyed themselves. That's what I get from everything from the chat says that everyone has enjoyed themselves. Thank you so much for being on this Feng Shui Society, Laurent. It's been grateful. We're grateful
pleasure.
to have you here. You lots of amazing comments. You're very much loved. Awesome sector.
I remember. I recognize some people who are also clients. So it's lovely to see all of you here.
Thanks. Brilliant. And once again, please don't forget Laurent's website obviously is there. You've got this fantastic 10% off Feng Shui and Bazi boost membership. I mean, it's quite tempting. I think I'll even sign up. So thank you. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to draw this session to a close, and hopefully you'll hear back from the Feng Shui Society about our future events. And yes, speak to you soon. Have a lovely, lovely evening, and see you very soon. Good evening, everyone.
Likewise. Thank you so much for being here all tonight.